Good evening, it's Friday. My name is Richard. This is Over and Over and Over Again. It's the Arsenal Women's Weekly. I do apologise. We are slightly late, but some of us have actually got a life away from doing shows on here, and sometimes things get delayed. But anyway, we are here and we're looking forward to this show. We're going to be looking back on the midweek game, of course, in the Champions League against Bayern Munich. Not quite the result we wanted, but a positive performance to look back on. Also, as well, we're going to assess our chances of making it through the second leg, of course, coming up this week at the Emirates on Wednesday. So we'll look into that. And, of course, between those two games, well, between that and this week, there is, of course, a small matter tomorrow of a North London derby at Brisbane Road. Tottenham women against Arsenal. So we're going to have a little look ahead to that game as well. Plus, as well, we may well have another big question from Amar later on as well. All that's coming up the other side of this. So welcome to Andreas. Amar's, of course, running late as always, but we don't mind. How you doing, Andreas, this week? It's been a big week, hasn't it? Exciting week. You well?
Yeah, I'm okay. Thank you. And good evening, everybody. Yeah, it was a very busy week, an interesting week. And not only our match, but all the four quarterfinals of Champions League, only one goal difference in every match. So all 8 teams are still in the race and everything is still possible. Of course, we were the only group winners who lost in quarterfinals. That's not good. But it gives us a lot to analyze in this show, I think. So I'm looking forward to it.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, it's only half time, let's remember that as well. But yeah, it's good that all the games are still in the balance. As you said, any of the 8 teams could go through. So it's going to be an exciting week coming up all over Europe, isn't it, with these second leg games to come. So we're all looking forward to that. And I suppose the only place we can really start is going back to earlier this week and what was another interesting game. Now, in many ways, this game summed up pretty much. It's almost like it's a copy and paste of so many games that we've played this season. It seems, doesn't it? We play well, we create numerous opportunities, we don't score, and then we end up losing by a goal that we maybe should or could defend better. And this has happened so many times. It was very recently in the FA Cup against Chelsea. This game almost was a complete rerun of that game, wasn't it? Only in the FA Cup game against Chelsea, we lost 2-0. And this time we've only lost 1-0. But a very, very similar game, very similar Arsenal performance, a good Arsenal performance. I mean, like a really strong Arsenal performance away at a very good side. But again, it's the same old story, isn't it? I mean, you know, it's all very well playing as well as we are, creating all the chances that we are. But at some point, we're going to have to start taking these chances in these games, aren't we? Because we're not always going to be able to, you know, it could cost us against Chelsea in the FA Cup, and it may well cost us in the Champions League as well, depending on what happens this week. I mean, obviously, you was at the game, Andreas, with Matt. Good to see you there. Great vlog that you did for us. Fantastic stuff that is. I mean, obviously, it was a great Arsenal performance, but what did you make of it overall? Because, you know, Bayern are a good side, and Arsenal, I thought, in that second half, made them look quite average, actually, didn't they, for long spells?
Yeah. First of all, I have to say it was a great atmosphere, but 20,000 attendance at the Allianz Arena. Matt was the first time in the Allianz Arena, and he was really delighted. He said it's fantastic atmosphere, fantastic stadium. So it was, yeah, the right atmosphere for a big match. And in the first, I think, 5 minutes, I thought this could be a disaster for Arsenal, because Bayern started the way they started against Barcelona. It was their Barcelona tactics. A very wild 5 minutes in which everything could have happened, and we had nearly no control about the ball, about situations, and as I said, the first 5 minutes you could think this will end in a disaster, but then suddenly it changed, and we gained control of the match. And I think from the 5th until the 25th minute, the match was totally under control from our team. And as expected, the midfields of both teams were decisive, and we had the better part for this period. And then after the wild beginning, Bayern calmed down, and you could see that both teams like to have the same style of playing, the build up from the defense, the strong midfield. But then it was Arsenal who created the better chances. I think on this double chance from Stina and Frida, where Bayern goalkeeper Malagros reacted very good, but also with a bit of luck in this situation. We could have got the lead in this situation. But then for the last 10 minutes of the first half, Bayern was in control again, and the game switched again. And this was a part of the match when I thought, it's dangerous now. And then we conceded a goal, like we conceded so many goals against Man United, against Chelsea, twice against Chelsea, and now this time again, a high cross at the 6 yards box, and then totally mismatch in that little Laura Wienwalter against Leah Schuller, who is first, she's a tall player, and second, she's very good with the head. Everybody knows this, and you can't place Laura Wienwalter against her. I saw pictures after the match. They both jumped equally high, but of course, Leah Schuller is 20 centimeters taller, and she got the header. Of course, there must be Rafael or Leah Williamson against her, but not Laura. She can jump as high as possible, but she can't win this header. And the reaction from Manu Zinsberger was, as I criticize very often, she was standing at the line, watching what happened, and even if she stands on the line, she must try to fist the ball away or something. It was like she was surprised that the ball from the 6 yards box was coming into the net. Very poor defended, and there was another big chance for Leah Schuller just seconds before halftime. So Bayern could have got the lead with 2-0, but it was 1-0, and in the second half, the match totally changed. Arsenal was in control for the whole second half. I think this was really impressive, how the girls reacted, how they played in the second half, how they dominated a team like Bayern in their stadium. So everything was perfect in the second half, except that we didn't score. And what we said so many times in the show, it's like a toothless tiger in the attacking line. We don't score. I don't understand it, but there were a lot of chances. Of course, Bayern was lucky with two situations when they cleared the ball from the line. There was one situation, Saki Kumagai. It was. I don't think that the ball was over the line, but it was nearly over. Then the second situation, Leah Schuller, the striker, was standing on the line, and she was lucky that the ball came directly to her. How many bad luck can you have? Arsenal is proving this week in, week out. So many chances, so many ball possession. Really, really good build up from the midfield, chances, but we didn't score a goal. Then Caitlin Ford hit the post. I think Caitlin was outstanding in this match again. For me, she was the best player on the pitch, together with Glodis Vigosdottir, the central defender from Bayern. But in the last 3 minutes, the match could have gone away totally when Clara Buhl had this big chance. And then I must say, Manu reacted fantastic in this situation. These are the situations where Manu Zinsberger is really great. It's one-on-one or reactions on the line. But as far as she at the goal, she has her weak points, and we lost 1-0. We are the only group winners who lost in the quarterfinals. But when you see the second half, you must say everything is possible. But on the other side, Bayern can score at the Emirates. That's possible. And then our problem is that we have to score 3 goals. And if we score 3 times, I doubt it. So it's a difficult situation. On Wednesday, just after the match, I would have said we won't go through to the semifinals. But now, with a few days after it, hope is back, and I say, why not? Why not scoring twice, or at least 1 goal, going into extra time, scoring 2? But if Bayern gets the lead at the Emirates, I think it's over.
Yeah, potentially. We'll see. I mean, you're saying about obviously the cross and Laura maybe mismatched in height against Schürrle. We've actually got a picture of that now. There we go. That's actually a picture of the difference in height between Laura Wainwright and Leah Schürrle, who scored the goal. But no, I mean you're right. Obviously, that was it was obviously a big problem, and the cross came in. It was a very good ball into the box. But as you say, we've conceded goals like this far too often. And you're right, Manu Zinsberger is very, very good in certain situations. And in other situations, crosses into the box, around her 6-yard box. She doesn't like it. She can't deal with it. She doesn't come and get them. And she just flaps at things. And, you know, it wasn't just her. It was obviously the defence in general wasn't very well organised at that moment. And at the top level, when you're playing these good teams, that's what happens. It's happened to us, as you said, against Chelsea, Man United, that the better teams will punish her. We'll get away with it against Reading. We'll get away with it against, Leicester. We'll get away with it against teams like that, fine. But when it comes down to the big teams, especially the teams that are more physical and do put balls into the box and have got players who can attack it and will win headers, we do struggle. And that it was even more frustrating that was how they scored the goal, because we know that's a problem and we should have been better prepared to deal with it. And we should be working on these things and improving it. It doesn't seem as though we have done. But other than that, and other than that 10-minute spell before half time, and maybe that very, very early part of the game, other than that, I thought we looked in control. We looked comfortable. We were good with the ball. And we did, as you rightly say, we were unlucky not to score. I mean, I think, if you look back at that game, some of the chances that we had, what really struck me as well, though, when we mentioned it last week on the show, you were saying how few goals Bayern Munich have conceded. And you can see why, because they're very well organised. They basically put a line up in front of the 6-yard box. And if the shot comes in, it's going to hit a defender. And 9 times out of 10, our shots were just hitting the defenders, wasn't they? Because of how well organised that they were. Yes, we could have maybe done more to maybe get in behind them and stuff like that, and maybe put more crosses into the box perhaps. But, you could see how strong defensively Bayern Munich are. And I agree, it was going to be very, very difficult for us to score 2 this week, let alone having to score 3 if Bayern were to get a goal. So, yes, we do have extra time if possible, and we're at home for the extra time, which is an advantage, I suppose, in that sense. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the game, I was actually really, really proud of how we'd played, because I thought it was a brilliant performance. That second half in particular was incredible. It was almost up there with the Lyon performance, only at Lyon we got the goals and this time we didn't get any of them, and it was just that sort of a game, wasn't it? But I thought the performance was brilliant, and yes, apart from this very, very soft, sloppy goal that we conceded, the rest of the performance was good. And yes, basing it on that alone, especially the second half, there's no reason why. And we said it, didn't we? Recently, we played Chelsea in the FA Cup. We played well, but we lost. And I remember saying on the show, if we play that well against that same team again, we're not losing the game the second time. And that proved to be the case in the cup final. We turned it around against Chelsea and we won. And I feel very, very similar about this now, playing Bayern Munich. Because if we play anywhere near as well as we did on Tuesday, I think we'll have enough to beat them, and not only beat them, but beat them by enough to go through. I really do think we can. But it needs to be another Continental Cup final type performance from Arsenal. We need to put our chances away. We need to be more clinical, and we need to score at the right times. And we did against Chelsea that time, and we need to do it again on Wednesday at the Emirates. But I'm certainly feeling confident. I thought that was a good performance, another good performance against a good team. And this is something that we're producing on a consistent basis. But the problem is we're still not scoring the goals we should be scoring with the chances we're creating. And that's the only real big negative for me, not only about this game, but potentially about the season, actually. Certainly the second part of the season that we've had. That's been a real problem. And it's something that we've got to sort out. We have to, because if we don't, we're not going to progress in Europe, and we're probably not going to do much more in the league either, unfortunately. So it is a big problem. We've got a few comments that are coming already. Of course, we've got Terry in there. He says, "I think the Gooner girls done it on purpose to make the second leg exciting. I still think it will be 3-1 to us." Well, I don't know. I mean, it might have to be 3-1. Maybe we'll see. Russ in the chat as well. Doing Russ, good to see you, my friend. I hope you are well. Terry says, to be fair, it was a good header, but I think the Zin should have saved it. Yeah, exactly. 100%. It was a good header. It was a good cross, a good header. One, I thought we needed to defend the cross better. And secondly, yes, Zinsberger should have done a lot. She almost like just flapped at it, didn't she? And she's looked more worried about crashing into the post than saving the ball. Save the ball, and if you hit the post, you hit the post. Don't worry about it. You'll get some treatment. You'll be fine. But save the ball first, or at least make a better attempt to save it. But no, I agree that it was poor goalkeeping. Terry says, agree, Richard, the girls couldn't have done much more. But Scott, exactly, yeah. We did everything in that second half. That second half was so good. And it's one of them games where you come away feeling proud of the performance, but so frustrated and disappointed that we've lost the game because we didn't deserve to lose. It was incredible. But I say it's happened 2 or 3 times this season now, and it's something that we've got to address and put right in the next few weeks, because otherwise the season could be over quite quickly. You know, in the next 2 or 3, we've got big week coming up. We've got a second leg against Bayern. We've got Man City like next weekend. It's big game. If we lose both of those 2 games, then the season's over, and it's done, and we might not even get to the top 3. So
what gives hope is that you can say we had all the bad luck that is possible. We had this situation with a possible handball in their box. It's not a situation where you must give a penalty, but there were similar situations in which teams got a penalty for this. Of course, the Bayern defender couldn't react. It was from short distance, and the ball was going to a hand, but it changed the direction of the ball, so you could give a penalty. And it was, call it bad luck that we didn't get a penalty. Then we hit the post. We had 2 situations, the ball cleared from the line. So I don't think that it's possible to have more bad luck in a second match. So if we can bring another performance like this, then why not having the luck we really deserved over the weeks, and maybe score from a lucky situation, or such a dirty goal or something. Why not? And so, as I said, after a few days have passed, I still have the hope that we can change everything. And it's a home match, and the girls feel at home at the Emirates, so it's possible. Yeah, let's believe in everything. And
that's all we can do. We've got to believe, haven't we? And there's no reason not to believe after that performance, because we created enough chances in that game, especially in the second half, to show that if we create that number of chances again, we will score goals. We will do. We did against Chelsea, and we will again. And here we go. We've got Amar with us. How are you doing, Amar? Good to see you finally here. A bit early this week, which is nice.
You're right. Good to see you. Sorry?
Good. I mean, obviously, we've been talking about the Bayern Munich game from Tuesday. I mean, we played so well, didn't we? It was heartbreaking that we didn't get something out of the game, really, because of the performance deserved it, didn't it?
I mean, I was following the text commentary, especially second half, and and then I scored the last 9 minutes, and I saw pretty much a full highlights package later on DAZN. And we started off pretty well. I mean, if you think about it, there's been like the same problem all season in front of goal, isn't it? That's why we need a genuinely world-class striker. And if we can do that, we can consistently challenge for the title on a basis. And in Europe, isn't it? You could see Stina missed a great header as well. She should be doing better there. It's kind of just been the story of our season in front of goal in the big games. We've just been so profligate. In the second half, we played so well. Unlucky again. Yes, we could have maybe had a indirect free kick for the back pass. I can't remember from which Bayern play it was by. 2 clearances off the line, as Andreas was saying, and also possibly a shirt tug on Rafa, which didn't go seen. But ultimately, I know we, as much as we like to say about the referee, we were indebted to Manu for a good save at the end to do. I think it was Maximilian Rau right at the end, wasn't it? And also when Schuller missed that chance just before half time. So it could have been worse, but ultimately we need to we absolutely have to be more clinical if we're going to turn this around in the second leg. That's for sure.
Yeah, no, of course, we will need to be more clinical. And we said it before about the Chelsea game in the FA Cup, very similar performance to this one.
Absolutely.
A week later, we played them in the Continental Cup final and turned it around.
Absolutely.
And we can do it again. I'm sure we can. And, you know, I've got no doubt that we're going to give it everything that we've got to try and get through to the semi-final. And the good thing is, I mean, we did say it last week on the show, didn't we? That, yes, we wanted to win the game or get a draw, but as long as we only lost it by 1 goal, 1-0, 2-1, and we were still in with a chance, then that would be okay, wouldn't it? So I think we're all fairly okay with the result in the end. Yes, it should have been better. We know we deserve more from the game. Yes, and Andreas is right. Luck wasn't on our side. It hasn't been on our side so often this season. And yes, maybe it's a little bit of luck, and maybe it's a little bit of us not being clinical enough with those chances as well. We have to maybe look at that as well. Yes, there's opportunities that have happened and things in the game, the penalties potentially, and one or two other things that have gone on. I mean, the referee the other night, I thought was absolutely dreadful. I mean, I know we complain about the referees a lot in the WSL.
No, I agree. She was not good.
I don't mind a referee being bad necessarily if they're fair, but it just wasn't fair. We got nothing. Free kicks, fouls are being committed by Bayern Munich players right, left and centre. Referee never gave anything. And then we don't even commit hardly a foul, and the referee straight away giving free kicks and looking to get yellow cards out on our players. It just seemed, it seemed one-sided refereeing, and that's the one thing I don't like. If referees are terrible, they're terrible. We have to accept that. But if they're terrible for both teams, then brilliant. We don't mind it so much. But when it's one way, and for most of that game it seemed one way, and I don't think we would have got a penalty in that game, even if it was the most blatant foul you've ever seen. I don't think the referee would have given it. Just I got that feeling it wasn't going to happen for us that night. But we can look for excuses. We can blame the referee. Yes, she was terrible, but ultimately we had enough opportunity to have got something. We didn't take it, and that's down to us. That's down to our finishing, and that's down to our play in the final third. So, but I agree with Andreas and what he said before. Caitlin Ford, I want to talk about her just for a few minutes because her performance on Tuesday was just incredible. And we got to the point where the whole team decided just give the ball to Caitlin, and that's all we need to do. And they did for about a 10, 15 minutes, 20-minute spell. They just kept giving the ball to Caitlin, and she was causing absolute havoc down that left-hand side. Brilliant performance. And this isn't just a one-off. She's been doing this now consistently, week in, week out, in every single game at the minute. She's just playing so well. I mean, what a performance. I mean, Andrea, she is just an incredible player at the moment. She's probably in the best form of her career at Arsenal, isn't she, Caitlin Ford, at this moment in time?
Absolutely. It started last year when she came back from the Asia Cup, and since then she's constantly and better and better. And on Tuesday she was absolutely the best player on the pitch. And every time she had the ball, she was threatening the Bayern defense. They didn't know how to defend her, and she's going through. She's dribbling. She's trying crosses. She shoots from 20 yards. She's dangerous every time she's on the ball, and she would really deserve a goal. Fantastic shot that hit the post. Malagros had no chance against this. And she's Caitlin is her fitness is unbelievable. If it's the 20th minute or the 60th or the 90th minute, she's already running and finding spaces, and just fantastic. I think it's her best season so far in an Arsenal shirt, and she has a lot of self-confidence brought from the Matildas last time, where she scored many goals, and she seems to be settled in life in London, and she seems to be happy with her whole situation, and she's respected in the team as our best or most dangerous attacker. So fantastic performance, and for me she would have deserved player of the match, but of course it was Lea Schuller because she scored the decisive goal.
Yeah, I mean, I thought Lea Schuller was probably Bayern Munich's best player, actually, most dangerous player, certainly in the game. So, no, I mean, Caitlin Ford at the moment, I think the only one thing maybe missing is more goals, really. She's not scoring enough goals. She's almost producing a level of performance consistency that we've been getting from Beth Mead for quite some time. She's been that consistent, hasn't she, with her performances, but obviously Beth has always provided more goals and more assists. That's more natural to her game, I think, as well, perhaps. But Caitlin's form, I mean, Amar, how good has she been? Just incredible from a week in, week out. It's like, wow, she seems to get better every game if it's possible.
Yeah, you could say she's been playing that way ever since she joined Arsenal. She's just whether it's been linking up with Beth or whoever is in the front line, she's really taken her game to new heights. And then none more so evident was in that Conti Cup final when she ran the show pretty much, was outstanding in that. And she on the left-hand side, or whether it's, I know Steph's a big miss for us, but with Steph, without Steph, she always seems to thrive off how well the team is playing, whether it be international teammates, whoever. But she's really developed into arguably one of the best winners in not just in the WSL, but arguably in Europe as well. And she's still got more layers I think she can add to a game. And yeah, I mean, so to take that into a home World Cup, and it's good to have her. I mean, everyone goes on about how good Sam Kerr is, and we all know how good Sam Kerr is, but I think Caitlin Ford would certainly run close, and as she has been doing this season. So yeah, long may it continue, and hopefully she can fire us into the semi-finals next week. But we can only hope.
Yeah, I mean, she's scored a couple of goals at the Emirates in the past, so she knows where the net is there. So let's hope she's got a couple saved up for Wednesday night. But I mean, I think a lot of people have been kind of saying Frida Maanum's maybe been our best player this season, and maybe she was in the first half of the season. But I think overall, you can't really look much beyond Caitlin Ford. I just think she's probably been our most consistent player throughout the season, and she's really, really stepped up her game. In recent weeks, she's been incredible, and if only she can score a few more goals, I think that will just round it off, and that'll make her the complete player, because she's doing everything else absolutely. And I think if we are going to turn this round on Wednesday, we're going to need Caitlin to perform like that again, aren't we? We're going to need a good performance from her, and you just expect it now, because that's what she's producing every single game. And she has been incredible. And that performance the other night was almost, if that shot had gone in when she curled it around the defender and the post, if that goes in, that would have been a 10 out of 10 performance. You couldn't have thought anything about what she did. She was brilliant. It just lacked that goal, didn't it, unfortunately? But fantastic. Herman's in the chat as well. He says, hi there. Greetings from Canada. My friend, hope the weather's a bit better in Canada these days. I know it's bad weather. I mean, we're not had great weather, but at least we're a little bit warmer these days over recent weeks. Terry says, even Kerr has less shots than the Gooner girls and scores, and that's saying something. Yeah, I must admit. I mean, she misses a lot of chances, Sam Kerr. She does, but she does end up putting them in, and unfortunately at the minute we're not putting them in, are we? So we could maybe do with Sam Kerr, as much as I don't want to admit it. We probably could, because she does get the goals eventually, doesn't she? But I mean, that is the frustration, isn't it? That it doesn't seem to be changing. The performances are good. We're playing really well, but we don't seem to have found the answer to this problem with putting some of these chances, or a lot higher percentage of the chances, away. Terry says, we need another 10% from Frida and scoring goals again. Frida's been, I mean, she's a great player, Frida. She had a great season, there's no doubt about that. But in recent games, I don't know whether it's maybe because she hasn't scored too many in recent weeks. I don't know. She seems to be rushing things in the final third, making the wrong decisions. She'll cross when she should maybe shoot, or she'll shoot when she should have passed to someone in a better position. And I don't know, I just feel as though at the minute she's just not quite, it was not quite flowing in that final third as it was earlier in the season. Everything she hit was going in, wasn't it? In October, November time, she couldn't miss, could she? No matter what she hit was going in. Even missed kicks were going in, weren't they, at one point for her? Whereas now, she seems to be overthinking it a little bit. She gets in the final third and maybe doesn't look up sometimes, see a player in a better position, or she just thinks, I'm going to shoot and score, and it's just not happening for her, is it? So we just need her to get back to what she, maybe just relax a little bit more in that final third, and I'm sure it'll come back. But we do need a little bit more from Frida. I think so as well. But she's had a great season. We're not going to criticise her too much, but it's just she needs to just give us that little bit extra in that final third, and that could make the difference. It will make a difference if she does. We've seen what a difference it can make. Look at the Lyon game, for example, when she just took that game by the scruff of the neck. And we know she can do it against good teams as well. And she needs to just get the final ball right, because she's everywhere. She's everywhere on the pitch, isn't she? She's defending, she's getting forward, she makes great runs. She just needs to just tidy that final third up, and then that could prove to be a real big difference for us on Wednesday. But before we go and play Bayern Munich again, which is very, very exciting, and we're all looking forward to that, I'm sure, there is the small little matter tomorrow afternoon of just a tiny little game being played on the other side of London. So we're going to have a look into that. Now, of course, I do think in the women's game and in women's football, the North London derby, Arsenal against Spurs, isn't really the big game of the season like it is in the men's team. It just isn't. The rivalry's not there. Spurs women have only recently been competing in the WSL and all that kind of stuff. So it hasn't got that same rivalry that maybe it does in the men's game, and it's not got the same excitement factor around it. You know, Arsenal women against Chelsea is the big one, isn't it? That's the real derby game in women's football for us. And Spurs isn't at that level yet, because I say that they're not at that level themselves, are they? The games aren't as important as they are the games against Chelsea, but it's a North London derby. And the thing about North London derbies is you have to win. There's no other answer. You have to win. And of course, last season we played Tottenham away. Yes, it was at a different stadium. We were playing at Brisbane Road this time. It was at the Hive last year. And that was a game when we should have won. We know we should have. Another game we missed a lot of chances, played well, went behind. And although we scraped a draw in the last minute that we fully deserved, those 2 drop points proved crucial in the end. So we know it's not going to, but they're struggling this season, Tottenham, for one reason or another. They've got good players. They've just signed Beth England recently. So they've got a goal scorer now. But they can't seem to get consistent performances going. And this is a game, this year, we can't afford to drop any points now, but certainly not in this game. I mean, I say the North London derby is still a game you have to win, regardless of how much the rivalry is or isn't. It's just a game you have to win. So we go there tomorrow. Yes, it's tricky. We've come off, we've travelled to Germany in a week, never easy, a really intense game. We don't have a massive squad for rotation and stuff like that. So, we've got 1 or 2 injuries, as we know. But we need to go out there tomorrow afternoon and we need to put on, actually, no, I don't care how well we play. We just have to win that game. We have to find a way to win that game, and hopefully we will. I mean, Andreas, what are you kind of thinking of? Because it's quite difficult timing, isn't it, of the game, coming between the 2 Bayern games. That's a massive distraction. Of course, the second leg on Wednesday, as much as we don't want to admit it, is probably a more important game than the Tottenham game, and it shouldn't be, but it probably is when you think about it. But having said that, the Tottenham game is a game we have to win. So the timing of it isn't ideal, but it's there. It's got to be played, and we've got to try and find a way to get the result. I mean, how do you see this playing out? Because it's going to be difficult for us, I think.
Yeah, the difficulty is exactly that it's between the 2 Bayern Munich matches. And we are in a position where we can't give away any point, and we can't throw away the league for the Champions League. We need these 3 points just to be in the race for a Champions League spot. I think Chelsea is too far away if you see that they have a game in hand against Liverpool. But we need every point to compete with City and with United. And that's the difficulty. The girls threw everything on Tuesday for this match in Munich. And of course, some of them would need a rest, or we should rotate. But the difficulty is this match, no matter where Tottenham is standing on the table, it's a difficult match. It's a away match under probably bad conditions. It's, as far as I read, it has rained a lot in London, and the pitch will be difficult to be played. And you have to get this match in your mind and say only this match counts. Only the 3 points against Spurs are counting now. And let's forget about the second leg against Bayern. Let's concentrate on Bayern on Sunday after the match against Tottenham. But this will be a difficult situation for the mind. And of course, I think not every player will be 100% fit. So it's difficult for Jonas to choose the right starting lineup between being competitive to win the match, but also giving the girls a rest or maybe make some substitutes. It's difficult. And the rivalry is there too, especially for players like Leah or Lotta who are Arsenal through and through. And for them, the rivalry against Tottenham is very special because they know it from the men's teams. So no real Arsenal fan, no Gunner will want to lose points against Spurs. That's a fact. So it's a special match, and the rivalry is there. And I think everybody also had in mind the match last year when Viv scored in stoppage time. If we drop two more points at Tottenham, this would be terrible for the league. And don't forget that they have Bethany England now.
Yes.
Spurs are not doing well in the league. They are not winning many points, but nearly in every match, Bethany England scores. If they score one goal, it's Bethany England. So it will be
Yeah.
an important task to keep her calm and Raffaele, Leah, who else is playing against her. It's not so easy because I rate her as a very good and dangerous attacker. And she didn't have enough minutes at Chelsea, but all the time she was playing, or she came in as a sub. She was a threat for the opponents. It will be difficult, but normally, if you just see the names on the lineups, we have the better team, and there should be no doubt that we win this match.
Always say that, yeah.
But we all know football is sometimes crazy, and it starts with nil. So we must score, we must do something, and I hope we will. But let's be optimistic, and I say we will win 2-0.
Oh, good.
Make some
Yeah, I mean, 2-0 would be decent, wouldn't it? Terry says, at least tomorrow the Gooner girls should get some good shooting practice in. Well, I mean, they've had shooting practice in the last few months. And we're still not scoring our goals. So it's not shooting practice we need. It's finishing practice, isn't it? To actually get the ball in the net. That's what we need to do. Terry said 4 or 5-0 to us. It'll be a doddle for our girls. Rafa will have England in her back pocket. Well, let's hope so. But I agree with Andreas. Beth England is a very, very good centre forward. She knows where the goal is. She can score a goal. She would have maybe been a decent signing for us, actually, in January, as we couldn't get Russo that we really wanted. But anyway, I'm sure she'll want to do well tomorrow. Terry says, my only fear is injury. Spurs do like to kick our goals. Yeah, it's going to be another physical game. I'm sure it will. And they do like to kick us. And that's what they'll probably try and do. But I think as long as we've managed to recover sufficiently from Tuesday night, we've got an extra day to recover. The game was on Tuesday, not Wednesday, so that's maybe an advantage. And as long as we make a little bit of rotation, we've got, Katerina Kuhl can come in, Victoria Palova could be starting the game. We've got players who can come in, haven't we? And are good players. So, and I'm sure there will be one or two rotations to the team. But I agree with Andreas. We can't go mad and rotate too much because we still have to win the game, even though it's an inconvenience in some ways between the two Bayern games. We have to win. We've got to win, not only for our own position in the league, but the fact it's Tottenham. And as we said, we can't lose against Tottenham. It's not the dumb thing, is it? We're Arsenal. We don't lose to Tottenham. Or whether we're playing under fives game, whether we're playing them at Tiddlywink, whatever we're doing, we cannot lose to Tottenham. So we have to beat them, and that's what we need to do. But yeah, injuries is a worry as well. But you can't do anything about that. We can't not play the game. We have to go out there and play it, and hopefully we don't get. It's funny because last year we were due to play Tottenham, wasn't we, in between the two Wolfsburg games, and then it got called off because Tottenham had COVID and they decided not to play the game. We should have done that and got this game called off, so we didn't risk getting kicked in between the two Bayern games. But anyway, we're not like that. You see, we want to play the games because that's what we're about. We're not going to pull out of games because we feel like it. I mean, Emma, what are you expecting from this Tottenham game? And because obviously we should win because it's Tottenham and we know how rubbish they are, and obviously we're really good and we know that we'll win. But what are you expecting? Because it isn't the best. It is, as I said before, it's not the best kind of time to be playing, is it? In between these massive games against Bayern, which are taking over. That's so exciting, but we've still got to play Tottenham and beat them, haven't we?
It's not ideal, but when you think they're in between the two Bayern games as well, don't forget, I know we'll talk about it later, but it's also the Women's France Bundesliga is equivalent of Der Klassiker taking place, the small match of Women's Der Klassiker taking place at the I don't think it's at the Allianz tomorrow, is it, Andreas? It'll probably be at the campus, right?
Yes, I'm at the campus tomorrow.
We've got the small matter which we'll talk about later. So that's not ideal for them in the middle of a second leg as well. But yeah, we could have asked for better opposition. But having just ended the 9-game losing streak, and the way wasn't convinced. Leicester even had their chances. There was only a wonder goal from about. It just shows you they're relying on. I know Beth England scored a few goals for them since she joined. But other than that, you just struggle to see where the goals are coming from. Yes, they're difficult to beat, but I think for some reason I thought it was at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium tomorrow, but then I realised no, they won't be playing at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in preparation for a big game. It might be a bit too intimidating for them. But in a way, I'm surprised it's not there. But no, yeah, as you say, it's a good time to be playing them. I think, as I was saying, one win ended a 9-game losing streak. And yeah, even though Beth England is there, I still think we should fancy our chances. But as we know, for many times down the years, you can never underestimate an opposition. Look what happened when, again, I know we go back to last year. We don't like to remember. It gives us bad memories when we think of Birmingham. Everyone expected us to beat them. Look what happened. And the same can be said of Spurs. They'll be fired up for this in a way. And so, yes, we'll need to, our best to get the 3 points. But we'll definitely have to be more clinical than we've been in recent weeks and pretty much the whole season. So we can't take anything for granted. But I think we'll feel confident that we can beat them. We've never lost to them in the WSL as far, or has one draw. And I think they've scored like 3 goals, isn't it, or something like that, since they came against us in the WSL. So yeah, I think I'm feeling relatively confident, but we'll need to definitely be clinical, as I've been saying. So I'll probably go for a 3-0 win for Arsenal.
Oh, 3-0. That sounds good. We like a good 3-0, don't we? Terry says Fordy will tear Spurs apart, even if she's in third gear. Like she's at the Emirates. Yeah, I mean, she's in great form. We said that before. It'd be nice if she could bang it. She got 2, didn't she, at the Emirates last season against Tottenham? So it'd be nice if she got another 2 against them tomorrow. That'd be good, wouldn't it? I don't care who scores, actually. It doesn't matter. I agree. I think we'll win. I really do. I think we'll beat Tottenham because we're much better than them. We know we are. And it's just a matter of making sure that we keep our focus on this game and not look too far ahead to Wednesday. We've got to focus on this game. And if we do, we should be far too strong for Tottenham. And I do think we'll win. I'm quite liking a 3-0. That'd be good, wouldn't it? But I kind of think that what Andrea said about Beth England scoring a lot, she's a sort of striker that if they get a ball into the box, we're not very good at that kind of defending, and she may well get herself a goal, Beth England. So I'm going to go 3-1. I mean, I know Terry goes 3-1 quite a lot, but I'm going to go 3-1. I do think that Tottenham will score, but we should be far too strong. And I think we'll get. I think the goals will go in for us on Saturday. Definitely, I think we will score a few. We'll miss a few, no doubt. I'm sure we will. But we'll stick some in. Maybe, perhaps 40. Yeah, she's due a goal. I think she may well get 1 or 2. That'd be nice. And hopefully Stina gets 1 as well, because she gets a lot of stick. Stina, I think, unfairly a lot of the time, because I think she is a very, very good player and she's playing well, but she's not scoring them goals. She was unfortunate with that header, wasn't she, on Tuesday? It was going in and it was great defending. You have to give credit to the defender for getting back and clearing it. It's just great defending. So, it'd be nice if that was to happen. Herman says, I also watched the Lyon v Chelsea game, which Chelsea won 1-0, an extremely tight game, just like Arsenal. Yeah, it was. It was a very similar game, wasn't it? Obviously, Chelsea managed to get the goal and win the game. And I still don't think Lyon are totally out of it yet. I think that they'll feel as though they've got a chance to sneak through there, won't they? You said all the ties are pretty evenly balanced now, aren't they? The home teams in the second leg seem to have a slight advantage. Like all the others won 1-0 away. We've lost 1-0 away, but again, that's doable, isn't it? Terry says, well said, Amar, only 1 or 2 goals short.
1 or 2 goals short? What do you think it's going to be, 10?
Yeah, let's just win the game first. We'll worry about the goals, maybe.
10? He always thinks we'll get 9 or 10. He always thinks.
He seems to think we'll score a lot. I don't know why, because we missed too many chances to score 9 or 10 against a good team. No, even when we played Leeds and we won 9-0, we had enough chances to have won 15-0 or 20-0, didn't we? So, we do miss chances no matter who we're playing against. But let's hope that we've saved a few up for Saturday and we do obviously beat Tottenham and keep ourselves in. I still think we're not out of the title race yet. I don't believe we're out of it yet. We just have to keep winning and obviously go away at Chelsea and win, beat Man City next week and beat Man United away when we play them. We just have to keep winning and hope for the best. But we need to win. Yeah, the next game's the most important one, and that's tomorrow, and we have to win that. And I'm sure we will. It would be quite a shock if Tottenham were to get any sort of result. I know last year they did, but I think we will. I think we'll be too strong, and I think we'll get through. Now, as you can quite clearly see, Matt isn't with us again tonight due to his work situation, and he's had quite a busy week, flying about all over the world. He's met up with Andreas in Germany. He's been everywhere. He's had a busy week, and he did send us a video. Though, despite his busy schedule, he did manage to find the time to send us a video about basically all what we're talking about tonight in one little video. I will say before we start, don't worry. He looks like he's very tired. He hasn't slept for about 3 days, but he is okay. And this is Matt's video for the show. So welcome to the show, Matt.
Hi guys, once again I am not there. That is this time around I'm at the Merseyside derby, and that will be another story for another time. As you can tell, my voice is not great after last night. All that chanting has caused a bit of an issue for my voice. It was a great game last night, I'm not going to lie. Yeah, it was so end-to-end, but Arsenal just couldn't get on the end of anything. We should have quite easily won, or at least got a goal at the very least in that game. Caitlin Ford hitting the post the wrong side. There was other issues as well throughout the game, the refereeing calls and the VAR calls, the goal line technology that wasn't there last night as well, caused a lot of controversy, and it's going to be a wider issue that I'm sure all of you will talk about. So on to the next one now, which is going to be good to get everyone back into it again, which is the North London derby against Tottenham. A lot of Arsenal fans want to be there. It's close to them. It's going to be a very Arsenal heavy away day, and it will be very interesting to see what happens, but I'm sure that Arsenal will win that one. I'm going to go for a 3-0. I'll be hopeful for a 3-0 if I'm honest, because it's the best way to get rid of those blues, but it gives us enough to prepare for the next week's return. Speaking of next week's return, I'm looking forward to it. I'm hoping that it's going to be good atmosphere now. I'm hoping that we can get up to that 20,000 and there, but it's going to be a good game, and I'm sure it's going to be good. I'm going to go for my predictions. Arsenal going to win 3-0 against Tottenham, and then Arsenal winning 1-0 against Bayern Munich.
Ooh.
That's all for me.
Ooh. Oh. He takes extra time now. Interesting.
Well, 1-0 he said there. That's I mean, obviously, if it finishes 1-0 after extra time, it'll be penalties. And the last thing we want is penalties against a German team, isn't it? Let's be honest. But anyway, I guess it'd be better than going out in normal time, I suppose. But yeah, I mean, obviously, we did sort of mention the standard of refereeing in the Bayern game was very, very poor. And yeah, Matt was absolutely right. And yeah, I mean, it must have been a great experience for Matt, actually. I do think that, we need to, I can remember when Matt first came on the show, nearly 2 years ago when we first started doing the show, he was quite shy within himself, wasn't he? And I think he's really come out, and you can see now, he's flying over to Germany on his own for these games and stuff like that. Brilliant. I mean, what a journey he's had, Matt, and it's fantastic. And it was great that he was out there in Germany the other night. Some great videos that he did with you, Andreas. Brilliant stuff. You two in the stadium, that was hilarious. That was so funny. That was brilliant. Great video. And it was another great. I do want to say that the vlogs that you guys have been doing in the recent games have been absolutely brilliant. They really have. The Continental Cup final was brilliant. The one the other night was brilliant. They're just fantastic. They're so. Really giving everybody a great feel of what it's like being in the stadium and the atmosphere and all that kind of stuff. Absolutely brilliant, and really great stuff from both of you. But yeah, fantastic journey that Matt's been on, hasn't it, over the last couple of years? And it's great that he's enjoying himself. And he looked like he needed a bit of sleep there, didn't he? To be fair, but he did. He need to get the flight home. Yeah, and he is at the game tonight. He's at the Merseyside derby for the women tonight, as that's where he is. That's why he's not on the show, and I'm sure he's enjoying that. He does live, of course, in the Liverpool area, doesn't he? So it's quite a local game for him, which is good. And Terry says, Matt was doing really well there until he said 1-0. It's going to be 3-1. Well, we'll see. As long as we get through, ultimately, it doesn't matter too much, does it? But he did go 3-0 against Tottenham, which was nice. So that was nice and optimistic, which we like to see. Yeah, and then of course, we've talked about the Bayern game away, great performance. We talked about the Tottenham game coming up tomorrow, which I think we're all confident that we will win reasonably comfortably. I think there'll be moments in the game that will be a little bit stressed. There will be some tackles flying in, I'm sure. But yeah, I think we all feel pretty confident that we will go win that game. And then of course, it is the big one Wednesday at the Emirates. What an occasion this is going to be. I've got to be honest, after Tuesday, I am so excited for this game. It's so much to look forward to here. I mean, it's perfectly balanced, the tie, first of all. Both teams have got a great chance to go through. We saw on Tuesday there's very little to choose between the sides, ultimately, is there really? You know, both teams have got their strengths and weaknesses, and it's just going to be on the night, really, isn't it? Yes, we've got a bit of work to do. 1-0 down's never easy. We saw how brilliant defensively Bayern Munich were.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be a different game at the Emirates, I think, on that pitch with the crowd. And as Andreas has mentioned before, we are more at home at the Emirates because we've played there a lot more often. This season we played there, 7 times? So it's a comfortable place for us. Yes, we always haven't had the best results sometimes, but this game is going to be, I believe this is our biggest game of the season on Wednesday now, the biggest game of the season. And if we can turn this around from 1-0 down and win this game at the Emirates, I just think that would be, and I think that would be almost the journey that this team's been on under Jonas over the last couple of seasons. Yeah. We can see so much progress in so many areas of the team, you know, and to get through to the semi-final of the Champions League, it would again demonstrate the progress. You know, this season we've got a trophy already. We didn't have last season. If we can go to the semi-finals of the Champions League, that's again progress from last season. You can see where we're heading, and if we can do that on Wednesday, I just think it's going to be so important for the team and for the confidence of everybody to really take us forward. You know, having beaten Chelsea so recently in that cup final, to beat Bayern at the Emirates so soon after that in such a big game would be such a boost for everybody. And if we can do it, it's going to be so amazing. I'm just so gutted I can't go, actually, because it would be brilliant. It's going to be a brilliant atmosphere. I mean, Andreas, what do you think of this second leg then? Do you think Arsenal can actually turn this around and go through? You know, or do you think Bayern, being Bayern, so strong defensively, they'll find a way to maybe get a draw and go through?
We made progress in so many parts, but except in scoring goals. That's our problem the whole season, or let's say since November, since we lost our two best scorers and assists. It will be a tough one, but maybe it's good to play against Spurs on the weekend because trying to stop and to calm England down is a good test for our defenders. Then Lea Schuller is coming again, and it's similar. Sometimes I see many matches from Bayern Munich, most of the home matches, and there are many parts of a match when you don't see anything from Lea Schuller, but then there's one pass through the defense, and she has so much pace, or she can score by a header. So it's sometimes she's 70 minutes out of the match, but then she scores. Yeah. So it's a good test to say we keep England calm, then we will be able to keep Lea Schuller calm. The problem is that Bayern is going into the match with the advantage of 1 goal up, and they can wait and they can let Arsenal control the match and try to counter attack and just have 1 or 2 corners or maybe a free kick into the 6-yard box. And this is the difficulty. As I said, if Bayern scores and scores first, then it will be very tough. And I think if we fall behind 1-0, then we will not turn it around. So it will be important that we get the lead if we are 1-0 up, and then we concede the equalizer. Then nevertheless, everything will be possible. But falling behind 1-0, then it's 2-0 in the aggregate. This will be too difficult for the and Bayern is so well organized in defense. Even if they are missing now Tainara, the Brazilian defender, and Caroline Simon, she is also out for at least for the Wolfsburg match. But you could see Saki Kumagai with her experience. She's not the fastest player, but she anticipates very good. She knows where to be and get organized. And once again, the Icelandic defender Glodis Sigurðardóttir, she was the best player from Bayern. I think she was everywhere when there was danger in the box. Sigurðardóttir was there. So it will be difficult to break this well organized defense.
Yes, it will.
Yeah, we have to be patient. There's no need to rush and to risk too much in the first 20, 30 minutes. We have 90 minutes time to score one goal. If we don't concede one, and then let's go. Yeah, if we got two, perfect. But if not, then let's go into extra time. There are 30 minutes more in our home ground with all the fans behind us, and then it's possible. And another advantage for Arsenal is that Bayern is playing tomorrow against Wolfsburg. It's
So I said.
of the season in the Bundesliga, and we all know how physical it is to play against Wolfsburg. This will be extremely tough for Bayern. They can't say, let's go into the Wolfsburg match. If we lose, then we lose. So, no, this is the match which might decide the title. If Bayern wins, they are 1 point ahead, and it's all in their hands. So they will do everything to win tomorrow. And 4 days later, another tough match. It's a difficult situation also for Bayern, and this might be a small advantage for Arsenal. And Bayern has to travel. It's not a home match for them. They have to travel to London. It's not too exhausting to flying to London, but it's different when you play at home or when you have at home the most important match of the season in Bundesliga, and then you have to travel away. You have to play in front of 20,000 fans from the opposition team. This might be the advantage for us, and let's just believe in our girls.
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right about Wolfsburg. I mean, we saw how physical they were last year. So, maybe if Wolfsburg want to kick a few of their players, particularly Leah Scholler, on Wednesday, that would actually be quite good, or maybe Gaul or a few of the others. So, once, I don't mind if Wolfsburg kick a few players. It might make a change to help us out a little bit. But no, I do think that is going to have an impact, isn't it? Because that is such a big game for Bayern Munich, and it's basically a title decider, isn't it? It's like our games against Chelsea. We know how demanding they are physically as well. Yeah. And the last thing that you want to do is play a game like that in between these two big European games. So that's maybe one thing that has gone in our favour. Yeah, we've got a North London derby. That's going to be quite physical. But, who would you rather play, Wolfsburg or Tottenham this weekend? I think we'd all agree we'd rather play Tottenham, wouldn't we? So that is in our favour. And let's see how Bayern Munich recover from that game and what shape they're in for the game on Wednesday. But yeah, that could play a part. But I don't know. I just feel as though the way that we played on Tuesday has really given me such a lot of confidence that we can do this. I say we played. To me, the game on Tuesday was like the FA Cup game against Chelsea. I said that before, and we played them a week after, and we absolutely turned that game around. And I think we could do the same again. I really do. And even if we went a goal down in a cup final against Chelsea, we came back and we still managed to score 3 goals. And that's against a Chelsea team that don't concede 3 goals very often at all. So I'm not saying that I think we'll win 3-1 like Terry seems to think we will. But anyway, we'll see what happens. Terry says, the international man of mystery, Andreas, relax. It's gonna end 3-1, so no need to lose any sleep. Well, I mean, let's hope it does, Terry. I hope you're right for a change, because you don't get many right, dear. But I hope you get this one right, because it would be incredible to win 3-1, wouldn't it, on the night on Wednesday and go through. Well, you did say we'd win 3-1 on Tuesday, Terry, so I don't know how much faith I've got in your prediction, if I'm totally honest. But I am confident that we can do it. I'm confident we can turn it. Whether it takes extra time or whatever, I don't know. But I'm confident we can get the right result, because we played so well on Tuesday. And if we play anywhere near that level again, we will win that game. And hopefully we'll win it with enough goals to send us through. even though we know Bayern are probably going to score themselves because they do tend to, and we're not the best defending at those sort of situations. But I mean, Amar, what are you expecting on Wednesday? Can we do it? That's the big question. Can we turn this around against probably the best defence in European women's football at the moment?
Well, yeah, you spoke about Chelsea being defence, but if you think about it, they've only kept something like 5 clean sheets all season. And I think, if I'm right, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think only Wolfsburg have managed to score more than once in a league game, more other than Barcelona in the Champions League at the Camp Nou in the autumn. Only Wolfsburg, the only other team to have scored more than 1 goal against Bayern this season. I could be wrong, but so this goes to show you the scale of the task is difficult. It could be a really tense night, but I think the fans will be there and they'll be in full support, and they'll be actors like the 12 players. Caitlin said after the game, wasn't to be our night, but we need the fans to be on our side, and because all the atmosphere, they can get the fans behind them. I think they can turn this around. There's no reason they can't. It's going to be tough. We've got, as we said, the best defense in Europe, one of the best defense in Germany, probably one of the best defenses in Europe. But yeah, it's doable. We just have to be more clinical. Ultimately, that's what it's going to come down to. You think that if they you can't really accuse them of being profligate, but we certainly have to be more ruthless in front of goal and try and take it to them, because they're a very capable side on the day, and we saw that in the first game. They only need one chance, and then ultimately they'll take it. And even though they created other chances, ultimately we didn't. And I ultimately, I know I keep saying ultimately, but if we're going to score 2 against them, we're going to have to play really well. And it just goes to show we can do it, but I think the crowd is going to have a huge part to play. And if they can get them going early, then they could go a long way to determine this. But I mean, if you ask me for prediction, I think it could well go to extra time. It's so tight to tell, but I think we may need extra time for, who knows, possibly even a shootout to decide it. But whatever happens, they'll still be proud of the girls, and hopefully we'll be proud of them regardless of what happens, I guess.
Oh, of course we will, yeah. I mean, we definitely will. Herman says, yes, we can. Yeah, well, we can. I think we all know that we can. It's just that will we, I suppose. Are we going to do it? I mean, Andreas, we've spoken about Bayern Munich's defence, and I mean, Andreas, Amar said there about, only Barcelona and Wolfsburg have scored more than once against them. I mean, you've obviously seen a lot of Bayern Munich this season. Has too many teams created as many chances as we did against them the other night, though? Has anybody managed to get in behind their defence and create those chances against them this season?
Yes, I think Frankfurt was dominating against Bayern, but then they only scored 1 goal, and Bayern from very, very less chances scored twice. But as I said, there's a problem in defense that they are missing Tainara at the center half and Caroline Simon as left back. So this has an influence, and the biggest influence for the match on Wednesday will be how Bayern is playing against Wolfsburg. If they beat Wolfsburg tomorrow, they are flying high. Their self-confidence will be flying high, and they know that everything is possible. We can reach everything. So this will make it more difficult. But when I look back the last years, Bayern lost last season 2 times at home against Wolfsburg. They lost in October or 2-1 at Wolfsburg away. I don't think they will beat them comfortably. Maybe a draw or something, and it will be a very tough match. So this match tomorrow has a lot of influence on the match on Wednesday. And the defense is very good organized, very well organized, and good working together. That's the problem to break them. And the young goalkeeper Malagos is also very good. She's very self-confident. She's not perfect. With 21 years of age, a goalkeeper can't be perfect, but she has a lot of self-confidence. She's calm. She knows that she might make a mistake or something, but she keeps her calmness, and this you can feel this self-confidence is from the goalkeeper to the defenders. They know they can rely on her, and they know they have only conceded 4 goals in 15 league matches. this gives you strong self-confidence too. Now, as I said, if we fall behind and Bayern gets the lead, I think we won't qualify. No, I don't think that we can turn around a match like we did against Chelsea. But if we manage to get the lead, even if it is late in the second half, if we score the first goal, then we will go through in extra time. I think the problem could be that we concede one, we will concede the equalizer, but then we'll go to extra time with 2-1, and then what can I say? We can only hope. I don't want to go penalty shootout. Of course, Kim Little will score for us, but we will miss the other four attempts.
We have 5 Kim Little's taking the penalty. We'll be fine, yeah.
Can't she just
Kim Little
take all 5? Can't she just take all 5? Wear a wig and change the shirt so she looks at a different number and just run up and take all 5. That's what we need, because otherwise we could be in trouble.
English players take penalties.
Houseman scoring every time, yeah. Oh, sorry, I correct myself because Benfica are actually the only other team to have scored against Bayern twice this season. Only 3 times have they conceded more than 1 goal, so I was a bit wrong there, but yeah. Only 3 times.
Well, they're going to concede more than 1 on Wednesday, because we've got to score 2, and I think I don't know, at this moment in time I'm feeling really confident that we'll go through, but it's certainly not going to be easy. I think it might well be extra time, as we've all kind of mentioned the possibility. Yeah. I think it may well be 1-0 after 90 minutes actually, and then extra time could be a lottery. The only thing in extra time that would worry me was if Bayern were to score in extra time, because we would then need to score at least 1 more, if not 2 more, in extra time then, and it would be, in that short period, it would be very difficult against a team with a lead that can defend well. So, but yeah, I think it will go extra time. I think it'll be 1-0 at 90 minutes, and then, we'll maybe sneak one in extra time somehow. Maybe a penalty. Maybe we'll actually get a penalty this week, and Kim Little will stick it away in extra time and we'll go through. But it's going to be a great night. There's no doubt about that. Herman says, I said a minute ago that Rafaela was outstanding in defence. Yeah, she's been outstanding in defence since we signed her, really. Brilliant. And looking forward to seeing how well she does again. Terry says, Jill Rod will sink Bayern's heart, ready for us to kill Bayern's dreams next week. Yeah, maybe she will. But we'll see. She did. She kind of, killed our dreams last year, didn't she, Jill Rod? She scored that goal away against Wolfsburg that knocked us out, or helped to knock us out. Herman says, I think that the Arsenal ladies are motivated and bring out the haggis for Kim. Save it till after the game, maybe, when she scores a winning goal. Then she can have a nice haggis. That'd be good, wouldn't it? Terry says 3-1 to the Arsenal, 3-1 to the Arsenal. Well, Terry's confident. That's what we like to see. But we'll see what happens. It certainly is going to be a fantastic occasion, isn't it, for everybody, for women's football in this country. It's great to see games like this, isn't it? And played at the big stadium as well. Hopefully, we can get a bigger crowd there. I mean, last year's game against Wolfsburg was like 5,000 or something. It was a great atmosphere, but it was only 5,000. Whereas this time, it's got to be 20,000 at least, doesn't it? Surely. So, if you are out there and you're excited for the game, go and get a ticket. They're cheap. You're going to get a great view. It's going to be a great atmosphere, and you might well see one of the great European Champions League nights that the Emirates has ever seen, because there's not been too many Champions League nights at the Emirates in recent years. So, there was just that sort of one last year in the knockout. So that's what we want to see. A great game on Wednesday, and hopefully Arsenal can turn it around and get the result that Terry is confident that we will. But yeah, it is going to be tough. We know that. It's going to be tense. But these are the games that you live for. That's what you want to see, though. You want to see your team playing in games like this. Yeah. And that's what we want to do. Terry says bring on Barca in the final. I say, well, it may well be Barca in the final. Or it could be Chelsea, couldn't it? Imagine that. Imagine Arsenal-Chelsea in the Champions League final. Wow. Sure. That would be something quite special, wouldn't it? Let's be honest. It would be something quite special. But let's just get through this game first. Let's not think about finals. Let's get through the quarter-final first. Let's do Wednesday night. Let's get that game done, and then hopefully we're through, and then we can worry about potentially playing in the semi-final first, where we will probably meet Wolfsburg by the look of things. So that could be interesting, couldn't it? Another interesting game. Herman says, last year there were over 70,000 fans at the final with Barcelona. Yeah, there was, yeah. And I'm sure this year would be a sellout crowd as well for the final, whoever's in it. And let's hope we are. That would be something, wouldn't it? So a really, really big week for Arsenal. You know, not only are we playing Tottenham tomorrow, which is a big game anyway, we know that. We've got the Bayern game, and then, of course, next Sunday, Manchester City in the WSL at Meadow Park. So really, really big. It's probably a season-defining week, actually, for Arsenal now. You know, if we don't beat Tottenham and Man City in the league, then that's sort of the league kind of gone, really. And obviously, if we get knocked out of the Champions League, the season's basically over, really. So, such a big week, an exciting week, but it's so important that certainly this time next week, I hope we're sitting here looking back on Arsenal being in the semi-final of the Champions League, looking ahead to the Man City game and feeling good about life. But let's see what happens. A lot can happen this week. Big week. Amar, do you have something for us tonight? Have you been preparing?
Yeah, it did take me a while, but I do have something.
Oh, brilliant. That's what we like to see. So we are going to get to our favourite bit of the show. It is, of course, Amar's little special section.
Oh, yeah.
So I've got my paper ready. I have got my paper ready.
Liking the pink shirt, by the way. Liking the pink shirt. I should have got one for myself. I don't know to get out with a black one. But anyway, this is the question.
Yeah, I kind of like both of them. I must admit, at the start of the season, I liked both of them, but I decided I wanted the pink one already when I saw it, so I've got the pink one, and I'm enjoying it. Right, anyway, go on in, Amar, take it away.
So the question for this week is, Arsenal have been in the Women's Champions League. This is Arsenal Women's 14th. This is Arsenal's 14th season in the Women's Champions League. How many times previously have they managed to overturn a first leg deficit in a knockout game?
Oh, what a great question.
How many times in 14 seasons have they turned around a first leg deficit? And this is going back to the old UEFA Women's Cup back in 2001-2.
Oh, what a great question. Oh, man. You know what? I don't think it's very many at all.
It's over a decade that we didn't reach the semifinals.
Yeah.
True.
So, but
it's not going to be many. I'm not sure if we ever have. I'm trying to think of one back in the glory days, if you like.
Yeah.
Was we ever behind in the game and come back?
In the old UEFA Women's Cup or the UEFA Women's Champions League, it's the 14th season. How many times in a knockout fixture have they turned around the first leg deficit?
Oh, that is a toughie, man. That is. Oh, I don't think it's many.
It's only short. Last season we couldn't turn around. We lost.
Well, it was 1-1 in the first.
We drew the first game, so we didn't get a chance to. Yeah.
And then we lost the second. Yeah.
Yeah, PSG was the one before that, wasn't it? And then we didn't.
That was
we didn't go through
it. One-off ties, if you remember. Yeah, that actually played in Spain, if you remember. Yeah, that was right.
Yeah. We wasn't in it a couple of years before that, was we?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the fact you've asked us a question tends to suggest to me it must have happened at least once. I can't think of it happening once. I don't want to say naught, because if I say it's never happened, then it would have seemed like it would have been a silly question to have asked. But it could be 0, I suppose. I can't actually think of one off the top of my head. It must be going back a long time if it's happened.
Just write down. You don't have to remember the opposition or whoever it was against. I just want a number. How many times do you think they've managed to turn around the first leg deficit? Just give me a number. I'll be more. That's more than double. You don't have to tell me who the opposition was or what the score was. But yeah,
I'm going to say once. Then
you're going to say once, okay?
Andreas? Yeah, I'll go once. I just think we probably have one.
I have no idea. It's just speculating. I don't think it was very often. So
Mm-hmm.
you say one,
right,
so I say 2 times.
You think it's 2, right? Richard says 1. Well, I can tell you that it has only actually happened twice before. It happened in 2004-5 against Torres in the quarterfinals, the Italian side, and also 6 years later in 2010-11 against Rayo Vallecano. So only twice has Arsenal ever managed to turn around their first leg deficit in the UEFA Women's Champions League.
Was those first legs both away as well?
Probably. I think Torres. The first leg was away. And against Torres against Vallecano. I think the first leg might actually have been away as well. Yeah. I can't.
When was it? Early 2000.
Sorry. The first one was 2004-5. Second one was 2010-11. Yeah, I think first leg. Yeah, I think we lost the first. Yeah, both of the first legs were lost away from him. That's right.
Wow.
Only twice.
Okay, well, twice. Well, I mean, you say that. I mean, maybe we haven't lost that many first legs then, have we? That's probably why.
Well, we come up against some good, strong German teams as I've been going down the years, like Duisburg and Turbo Potsdam and 1 or 2 others. But yeah, so we have to history. It happened twice before, but I will say this: don't forget the last time a London side played Bayern Munich in the knockout game in the Champions League in 2020-21. We all remember what happened then. So I'm not saying it won't happen, but remember Chelsea lost 2-1 in Munich and then won the second leg 4-1. So never say never.
I also remember Bayern Munich winning 5-1 at the Emirates as well.
Oh God! That was because we lost the first leg 5-1. That's different. That's never happened.
Well, yeah, we lost both legs 5-1 that season, didn't we? Although we did have a player sent off, didn't we? Was it Koscielny got sent off after about 10 minutes?
Yeah, forget that, man. But yeah, well,
that's the last time Bayern Munich visited the Emirates, isn't it? And they won 5-1. So
I don't think it's going to be 5-1 on Tuesday. Let's just say that. I don't think it's going to be 5-1 on Tuesday.
No, I don't think it'll be 5-1 on Tuesday. Let's hope not. Unless it's 5-1 to us, that'll be all right.
We played a friendly, the Emirates Cup in 2019 against the Bayern women. And
we lost that. I think that was the one where, if I remember, Danielle Carter suffered another ACL injury.
Exactly, and Melanie Leupold scored the goal for Bayern.
1-0. It was 1-0, wasn't it?
Yes, 1-0, and
when you look at the pattern just in general this week, all the ties are so in the balance. That's what we love, isn't it? That's why we think when so many times down the years have been like really one-sided, but they're all in the balance. This just adds to the beauty of the game, doesn't it?
We said it before. All 4 matches were 1-0. So
I mean,
and the funny thing was the only home team, out of all the ties, the only home team to win were Bayern. So that tends to suggest that, there's going to be more home wins in the second leg, just on a lot of averages suggests there's going to be more home wins in the second leg. We're at home in the second leg, so hopefully that means we'll win, and then we go through. So
it's incredible to think when you think about it, not many goals, but you think, don't forget Lyon hadn't conceded 5. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but Lyon hadn't conceded 5 until they played at Arsenal this season, hadn't conceded 5 in something like 17 years. So whilst it seems unlikely, you just never know. Well, there's an opportunity for some freak result to happen. It's just the beauty of the game, isn't it?
Yeah, Barcelona has conceded 3 goals in Munich.
Yeah, that's right.
Everything is possible. And as I said, we had all the bad luck that is possible. If you look at the Wolfsburg match in Paris, Wolfsburg had all the luck that is possible. There was a penalty against Wolfsburg, and the VAR said no penalty, and a minute later VAR decided penalty for Wolfsburg, and they scored. So can you have more luck than Wolfsburg? Can you have bad luck than Arsenal? So it must change.
I agreed. They did have a bit of luck, but I did think as well PSG didn't help themselves either. Their defender were going to go to the referee, and then it was, I think, and then Lena Oberdorf were appealing for handball. I think she did stick her arm out, so I think that for me that was a penalty. Maybe it wasn't a bookable offence, but I think it was. And how she recovered from a serious knee injury in 5 days, God knows. But anyway,
Yeah, it's impossible. On Sunday, there was a statement from the club that she suffered a serious knee injury. Definitely will be out for the Paris match and at least for 2 to 4 weeks, and it depends on the rehab.
Yeah.
And then 3 days later, she's in the starting lineup and
I
plays.
couldn't believe it when I saw it. I couldn't believe it. Like, what?
It was clearly lying. Yeah, it's not okay to say this. And even on Sunday, Lena Oberdorf posted a photo on, I think, on Instagram when she was on some festivity and was enjoying an ice cream. So there was comments. It would be so bad if she enjoys her ice cream and is smiling. And this was a moment when I thought, oh, let's wait if she will not play in Paris. Let's wait, and she did. So
yeah. But no, it's interesting as well. I did watch the Roma Barcelona game. That was a great game played in such a fantastic atmosphere. And Roma had their chances. So it goes to show that it's still very much open. I know that everyone says Barcelona, Lyon, but I think whoever gets through has an equally good chance. It's just, I think it's going to be so intriguing what happens this week. And I mean, just as we're following from last year, I just think it's just so exciting to see, and it's great to see all the big stadiums being packed out, and that's why we love this game.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. No, you're right, absolutely. And they are 4 brilliant ties this week as well, aren't they? You know, could go either way. Any teams could go through. Herman says that Joe Biden also likes ice cream.
He didn't suffer the injury, though, did he? And recover within 3 days, weren't you?
Yes,
well, yeah.
You know,
yeah, but I mean, Roma, Barcelona, it's going to be at the Camp Nou. You never know. But PSG, it's incredible to think as well. Another stat just came to my mind. PSG have played seven games in the Champions League this season. They've failed to score in 4 of them. That doesn't make sense, does it?
No, but that's football, as we've said. That is what happens in football, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's right. That's one of the reasons why football's such like live sport in general. Really, you can't really predict it, can you? Anything can happen, and you know that's why we love it, isn't it? That's what makes it what it is, because it's so unpredictable sometimes. And you know, I'm not saying that it would be unpredictable if Arsenal were to win on Wednesday and not buying out, because I don't think that's beyond the realms of possibility at all. But maybe you're right. After such tight first legs, all 1-0, maybe the second legs there's going to be goals galore. Maybe there'd be, or maybe all 4 games this week have goals flying in right, left, and centre. Who knows? Maybe it might be one of them. But anyway, I mean, let's just look forward to what's going to be a great week for Arsenal. Such an important week, and it's so exciting, isn't it? It really, really is, and I can't wait. I mean, tomorrow's game is going to be good. Don't get me wrong; we're looking forward to tomorrow's game, but it's almost like let's just get tomorrow's game out of the way. Let's just win it, get the 3 points, no injuries, and then forget that one very quickly, and then everything's focused on Wednesday and getting the big result in that game and trying to, for only the 3rd time, turn around the first leg lead in the Champions League and go through. Let's see if we can do it. Terry says, like 3-1. Well, 3-1. There's a few goals there, isn't there? So we'll go with that.
He thinks everyone can. We could score 10 goals. I bet one day we'll think we'll put 10 past Barcelona or something. Who knows?
Well, if we play them in the final, maybe. I mean, see, that was a shock result, wasn't it, when Lyon beat Barcelona in the final last year? So it just goes to show, doesn't it? Unexpected results do happen. And not that there's no unexpected results in this Champions League, I don't think. If any of the teams go through, it's like, well, the games are up there for either team to win still. So it's going to be so exciting, isn't it? Herman says, what time's the Bayern game? UK time is 8 o'clock. I don't know what that would be in Canadian time, but it's 8 o'clock in the evening.
It'll be about 3 p.m. If it's depends where it is. If it's in the West Coast, it'll be 12. If it's East Coast, it'll be 3. So
they're ahead of us, aren't they, Canada?
Oh, behind.
Are they behind, are they?
Of course, it's west, it's east, but it's east.
Oh, right, yeah.
Sorry, west. No, of course they're behind. It's the United States. Yeah, it's I don't know where it is, but it's either going to be 5 or 8 hours behind. Or 6, maybe.
Oh, right. Okay. So, it'll be in the afternoon, won't it? Sometime in the afternoon.
Yeah, that's right. It's 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock.
So yeah, it's 8 o'clock in the evening here. So yeah, hopefully you'll be able to watch it, Herman, because it's going to be good.
Don't forget, Richard, too, that our clocks go forward here tomorrow as well.
They're 4 hours behind us, Canada.
4 hours.
Yeah, it'll be 5 after the weekend because our clocks go forward tomorrow.
Oh, of course, yeah, our clocks change, don't they? Yeah, of course they do. Our clocks go back, don't they? So
assuming he's on the East Coast, it'll be 3 o'clock, but if it's West Coast, it'll be around 12 or possibly even 1 or 2. So I don't know where he lives, but yeah.
It's Toronto. Herman's from Toronto.
Oh, then it's going to be 3 p.m. Oh, then it's going to be 3 for sure.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. So 3 o'clock then for Herman, and it'll be 8 o'clock in the evening here.
That's right.
And it'll be 6 o'clock. No, it'll be 9 o'clock in Germany, will it, Andreas?
Yes, yeah.
9 o'clock, yeah. So anyway, so there's all different time zones throughout the world we're covering. So wherever you are in the world, watch the game, and it's going to be good. You don't want to miss it. So the weekend can officially start now because this has been the Arsenal Women's Weekly. Actually, it's show 21 of the season. Wow, incredible that we've done 21 shows this season. It's been great. And there's been some different shows this time. We've had some video feeds from Matt being away. Obviously, Andreas did a video feed from his hotel the other week as well, which was nice. And it's been a bit strange, but we've got 21 shows. It's all been good. Herman says there, I'm all free for that game, no rehearsal. Oh, fantastic! Good to see you. Hopefully, you can enjoy the game, and it's going to be good. We're all going to enjoy it, I'm sure. So coming up then on the channel tomorrow is, of course, the North London derby. Tottenham women against Arsenal women. That kicks off at 3 o'clock our time, so that'll be in the middle of the night probably for Herman. But anyway, it's going to be 3 o'clock tomorrow, so I'll be live about 2:45. We'll go through the team news, build up to the game, and then we'll crack on with the 3 o'clock kickoff. That is going to be interesting, isn't it? The one thing that kind of is quite an interesting point about it is the game is being played tomorrow on a Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock, and it's live on Sky. Now, Sky have got this rule in place that they can't have games, you can't show games live on telly at 3 o'clock on a Saturday because of local football. Well, there's local football played tomorrow at 3 o'clock, but they're still putting this game on at 3 o'clock on a Saturday. So, can someone please explain to me the logic behind that decision? I don't mind it being at 3 o'clock on Saturday. I'm quite happy for it to be then, but why can't games be on the telly at 3 o'clock on a Saturday any other week? Yes, there's no Premier League games this week. We know that because of the international break. But there's lower league football, there's non-league football, which is the reason they give for not showing Premier League games at 3 o'clock because it will affect attendances. And yes, Arsenal-Tottenham in a women's game isn't going to draw the same audience potentially. But even so, if you can play a women's game at 3 o'clock on a Saturday and have it on telly, you can play a men's game on a Saturday at 3 o'clock and have it on telly. No more excuses, right? That's it. So if you can do it for the women, you can do it for the men because we're all equal now, aren't we? So there you go. So start looking at that and sort it out in the future. There's no reason why you can't do it. So there you go. Herman says, we've already had our time change. Oh, have you? Okay. When did Canada change their clocks? I didn't know.
Yeah, it's a bit of an odd one, but they in America always have their clocks. They put them back and forward 2 weeks before ours. So yeah, it's a bit strange, but it's always a couple of weeks before.
Because not all countries do they? Not all countries change their clocks, do they?
No. Some are just set times. Like India, Australia, they don't have put their clocks back. For example, I think New Zealand.
No. Did Germany change their clocks, Andreas?
Yeah. This weekend, Sunday.
Oh, the same. Yeah. So
I think most European countries are on the same forward and 1 hour, but others just have set time zones. Yeah.
Oh, Herman said his was last week. Oh, there you go. So it wasn't that long ago then. So
it was about 2 weeks. Cool. Yeah, 2 weeks.
But we're obviously doing it this week because I remember them saying a few years ago they were going to stop doing it, but I don't know. I'd like it to be when they change them on tomorrow night. I like it that way round. So it's it gets darker later in the day, and in the winter it's even more important, isn't it? Because you don't want to get dark at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. You'd rather get dark at like 4 o'clock in the winter. So I think they should do it that way round all the time. But anyway, they won't.
So you don't mind then if you lose an extra hour of sleep, then, Richard?
Well, it's a price worth paying for one night, isn't it? Because you get later. It's light later into the day in the evening, so it's not going to get dark until about 7:30, 8 o'clock, is it? Next week.
Well, we better hope our team.
Obviously, all the way through. I love it when it gets to like August and July when it's like 10 o'clock at night and it's just getting dark. It's brilliant. I love that.
You should have seen a few years ago. I went to Sweden many years ago. This must have been back in like 2005 or something. There was sun at midnight.
Yeah. Well, they also have pitch darkness for about 3 months, don't they, in certain parts of Sweden? Yeah, you don't get any sunlight at all. So, and I suppose in the summer you probably get sunlight all the time. So, everyone's different in different parts of the world, different weather. Herman says it's still cold. Well, yes, it's not exactly summer here yet, mate. So don't worry about that. It's the wind. Yeah, wind actually. We've had a lot of wind.
Oh, yeah.
It's very windy the last few days. It's been actually, which has been not so good. Terry says, great show again, Richard. International man of mystery, Andreas and Amar. Plus, we still miss you, Matt. Hurry back. He goes, yeah, of course we miss Matt. Hopefully he'll see. He was off work this week. He could have made it, but obviously he's gone to a women's game of football instead, which I suppose is fair enough. We'll excuse him.
Yeah, it's currently 1-0. It should have been 2-1 to Liverpool, but that's the way it is.
Is it? Oh, okay. Well, I'm sure he's enjoying himself there. He said he's going to do a few videos as well for us, so look out for that. That'll be coming up very soon as well. Matt's latest little vlog of the Merseyside derby, which will be good. So I say tomorrow I'm back for the game, obviously 3:00 kickoff, so join us for that. That is going to be good. And then on Monday night, I've got a very special show, actually. I have got two of the guys that are behind the Dial Square FC, formation of that Dial Square, an Arsenal breakaway club that were formed in 2020, sort of, disillusioned with modern football and Arsenal and the way the club were heading and stuff like that. They formed this club. They're now playing in, I don't know, 8th tier of English football, 7th tier of English football, or something like that. But anyway, we're going to get the two of the guys that was involved in starting that club. They're coming on the channel on Monday. We're going to have a little chat about the club, their history with Arsenal, what made them form the club, everything about Dial Square FC. It's going to be a really interesting show on Monday night. So join us for that 8:00. That's something a bit special, a little bit different this week. With no Premier League games, we thought we'd throw in something a little bit different for you. And then on Wednesday, of course, it is the big one from the Emirates Stadium, Arsenal against Bayern Munich, Champions League quarter-final. Can Arsenal turn that around? I'm sure we'll give it a good go. We'll definitely give it a good go, and let's hope we can come out on top and get the result. So a big week. And, of course, next Friday we'll be back with the Arsenal Women's Weekly, of course, looking back on the North London derby, looking back on the Bayern Munich second leg, hopefully a place in the semi-final to look ahead to as well. And, of course, next weekend's big game against Man City at Meadow Park. Wow, what a week. What a week it is for Arsenal women. Brilliant stuff. It's just so exciting. It is going to be really, really good. Terry says at Dial Square, they are from Plumstead. I think they play in Surrey somewhere, don't they? But obviously the original Dial Square was in Woolwich, wasn't it? Where the armaments factory was back in the day. That's where they got the name from. But I think they play in Chertsey, I think, in Surrey. But join us on Monday. We'll go through it all. They'll tell us everything we need to know about Dial Square FC and their connections with Arsenal and all that kind of stuff. So that's going to be good. Herman says Canadian weather is cold in the winter and in the summer. Well, yeah, it's supposed to be, isn't it? That's weather, isn't it? It's cold in the winter everywhere and warm in the summer everywhere. That's kind of life, isn't it? I wish it was a bit warmer here in the summer quite often. But anyway, we make do, don't we? So, we're getting there. But of course, we're not allowed it to be too hot, are we? Because apparently that's bad. I don't quite see how, because I quite like the sun. Maybe that's just me. I enjoy it. I don't like wearing a coat and stuff. I like to be able to go out in a t-shirt and enjoy the nice weather. But anyway, hopefully we're getting there soon when the clocks change at the weekend. I like that time of the year. You're heading into 6 months of hopefully some decent weather and some brighter nights. I can take my drone up a bit more because it'll be lighter and I won't have to worry about losing it in the dark and all that kind of stuff. So I'm looking forward to the summer. It's going to be good. But of course, before all that, we've got this big week for Arsenal women. We're so excited about all kicking off tomorrow. The North London derby, that is going to be good. So join us for that one. And then I'll say Monday night, we've got the Dial Square FC guys coming in for a little chat, which is going to be good. So anyway, thanks, Andreas, of course, as always. Good to see you again, following your little trip into Germany, into Munich the other night. Have you enjoyed the show?
Yeah, of course I did. And it's a big week, not only for the Arsenal, but for women's football coming. For fantastic quarterfinals, second legs, with all open results. So this is very, very big on Wednesday, on Thursday, and for me it starts tomorrow with a big match in German Bundesliga, Bayern against Wolfsburg. Exciting match, and I hope that Bayern can beat Wolfsburg. Everybody knows Wolfsburg is not my favorite team, so it would be great to beat them and go ahead in the Bundesliga. So one win for Bayern tomorrow and a win for Arsenal on Wednesday. That would be great.
No, it would. I kind of agree. I must admit, Wolfsburg are like my favourite team. Having seen them kick us all over the pitch last season, I wasn't very happy with them. So yeah, I'd quite like Bayern to win. But if they managed to get a couple of injuries at the same time, wouldn't be the end of the world, would it? Only small injuries, nothing somerious. Just a small injury that keeps them out for about 4 days. That's all we want. Just a slight little muscle strain, or something like that, a little bruise or something. That's all. But they can't play. 3 or 4 players can't play on Wednesday. Would be nice, just to help us out a little bit more. But yeah, I hope Bayern win tomorrow, of course, and set us up nicely. Of course, if Arsenal and Bayern win tomorrow, they're both going to the game on Wednesday with good form. So let's see what happens. Herman says, I watched the UK YouTube video with the history of London. Fascinating. The actor is very good. No, I've seen them, actually. I think I know the ones you mean. He wears like a hat and a suit and that, doesn't he? They're really good, them, actually. If you haven't seen them, I can't think what the guy's called, but he's absolutely brilliant. He does like little tours around London and talks about the different history of London and stuff, the different areas of London. Absolutely brilliant. I can't think what he's called, but try and find it on YouTube. It's like History of London. It's absolutely brilliant. Really, really good videos, actually. Fantastic stuff. Yeah. And the guy that does it is good. He looks smart in his suit and that, wandering about in a hat and that. It looks great. Telling you all the history of the wonderful buildings and stuff in London. He did one around the Emirates and stuff. He did like Islington. There's a video on Islington. They're really, really good. But yeah, that's really good. Amar as well, good to see you again. Have you enjoyed the show? Looking forward to a big week?
Oh yeah, it's going to be massive. The next couple of weeks are going to be huge. Yeah, it's really exciting times for both teams, with the men closing in on the Premier League title. Okay, yeah, there's a long way to go, but yeah, before that we've got this important weekend next week, and let's hope they can step up to the task. And it's been great talking about it as ever, and hopefully it'll leave us in good spirits this time next week. So yeah, it's been great, and we look forward to the week ahead.
Indeed, a very, very big week. It's going to be exciting stuff. So please join us here on the channel as well for all of the great action. So starting tomorrow, I'll be at 2:45 with the build-up to the North London derby. Wow, that is going to be exciting, isn't it? And then Wednesday, I'm getting nervous already just thinking about it, actually, how exciting and how important that game is and what great fun it's going to be. So definitely join us for all of that. So the weekend can now start. We are done. Episode 21, the Arsenal Wearies Weekly. Thanks to Andreas. Thanks to Amar, of course. Also to Matt for his video, even though he looked like he needed some sleep. Hopefully he's had a bit of sleep since then and he's okay now. Little game, I'm sure he is. Hopefully he might be back on the show soon as well with a bit of luck. It'd be good to see him actually in the flesh rather than just on video all the time. So yeah, thanks all you guys for watching as well. All the comments as usual. Please give us a thumbs up before you go. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so already. Terry says there, night all, stay safe and see you all soon. Come on, you Gouda girls. See you tomorrow. Yeah, see you tomorrow, Terry. I'm sure you'll be around for the game. I look forward to that. And of course, look forward to seeing you all very soon. Thanks to Andreas, to Amar, Matt, and we will see you soon. Come on, you Gunners. What a week. Let's do it. Come on. Let's do it. To Arsenal now, Frida Marnham again inside here looking for a second goal. Oh, she's got a second goal. That seals it. Frida Marnham again.